Welcome to Season 2 of True-10 CrimeCast, the 210 area's #1 true crime podcast in social media. Make sure to subscribe on Spotify and YouTube, and come follow and connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. This story has been more than a year in the making. This is one of the first stories we covered after True-10 CrimeCast became an entity back in 2023. We picked up this story in March 2024 when Kaitlin Hernandez was first reported missing. Then we stuck with the story as it ever evolved into what it is now. But our story will start before this. After we found out about Kaitlin, we learned from the family that they had already experienced a tragic loss of her sister, Kaylee. As the past 2 years have progressed, it has been more than an honor for us to get to further know the Hernandez and Rodriguez family. Spending time at memorials, sitting in the same courtrooms, and taking the time to listen to each of their stories and memories of Kaylee and Kaitlin. We appreciate all the input and the time that has been taken when we want to share Kaitlin and Kaylee's story in hopes of educating the 210 community and beyond. This is raw, real, and a true crime story of the 210. They were more than just headlines in the news and have so much to share with the world. This is episode 30, Heavenly Sisters, Kaylee and Kaitlin Hernandez story. Listener discretion is advised. Kaylee and Kaitlin were both raised here in San Antonio. Kaylee being the oldest and Kaitlin less than 2 years younger. Being raised in a big extended family meant that they always had loved one close by. Here is their aunt describing the girls' interest in growing up.
I am Kaylee and Kaitlin's aunt. They were at a young age. My mom had took custody of them, go and help her almost every day to help raise them. And my brother, he tried to put his life on hold to help raise them. He was with till the last. My daughter grew up with them. They were always over. We always did holidays together. And Kaylee's favorite holiday would have to be Thanksgiving, because she loved to eat, Kaylee. And Caitlin's, I would say Caitlin's favorite holiday would really be Halloween, because she liked to dress up, and every year she was somebody, and she loved to dress up. They like to be in sports and just meet new kids and hang out. And they love sports. They both did. Kaylee and Caitlin's sisters. Kaylee would love to go over there and buy her sisters their birthdays. Kaylee, when she would have extra money, she would love to buy her sisters something for their birthday and take them a cake.
Their grandma shares how the girls both loved their family and everyone loved them.
We enjoyed everywhere we went. They were always smiling and happy, and we would go to the movies or bowling. We would always all get together on Easters, and they enjoyed everything. They were always happy. They were very friendly with everybody and polite. They just enjoyed their life, and it's kind of funny because at one point, either 3 months or 4 months before they were taken, Kaylee, she at one point, we were on Waltham, and then she says, Grandma, look at the clouds. And I was like, I can't look at the cloud, baby, because I'm driving. So she took a picture of it. And then when I got home or when we got to Walmart, I looked at it and I said, oh, that's beautiful. And then Kaitlin, the same thing. She made this video of her and my grandson, and she was just singing. So those are good memories that we have of them.
This is Kaylee and Kaitlin's mother, sharing her stories of the girls growing up as sisters and what family meant to them.
They were loving and caring and kind, because if somebody needed a shirt, Katie would get her shirt off to her back to anybody who needed it. They cared about a lot of about other people. Kaitlin was an animal lover big time, and so was Katie, especially with the dogs. The dogs, they loved their dogs. They loved their sisters dearly.
Yeah.
Like they would always get into fights and stuff, but what sisters don't? And I always told them, I said, no matter what your other sister did to you or whatnot, I said, you always got to say sorry and make up and be in each other's lives, because one day y'all are not going to be here, and then y'all going to be mad or upset or hurt because the other one died and you told her some mean stuff. I was told to just forgive. You don't have to forget, but forgive. They were both loving and caring and had a good sense of humor, like their mama. They both love animals. They're smart, beautiful, just bag full of joy. That's what they were.
As you've heard, the girls grew up in happy homes. They went to school. Kaylee had just taken her graduation pictures and was set to walk the stage in the spring. She enjoyed playing with her little cousins and siblings and talked about wanting to work as a teacher in the future. Kaitlin was finishing up high school. She was an animal lover and was liked by so many. Both had bright futures ahead of them, wanting to be something, wanting to share their life and amazing talents with the world. Kaitlin Hernandez was 18 years old when she passed away during the night on November 1st, 2023. To this day, her death has little explanation, and even after 2 autopsies, the family has only been left with more questions than answers. Here is her aunt sharing the events from that day, and remember, listener discretion is advised.
I remember getting a call at about, I want to say 5:30 or 6:30 in the morning. My mom never called that early, only if it was important or she didn't feel good. I was hesitant to pick up the phone, but then I said, let me call her back, because what if she needs me? She tells me, Katie will wake up. And she's cold and she's hard. I'll never forget those words she told. And I lived a couple of blocks from them, like about, it was like 3 or 4 minutes away. So I get in my car and I get to my mom's, and my brother's just sitting in the hallway, like just blank on his face. And my mom's just waiting for me to get there in the living room, and I go to Kaylee's room, and my brother had, my mom had called 911, and my brother had tried doing CPR on her. And then I started trying to do CPR on Kaylee, and I just kept telling her, please wake up, Kaylee, please wake up. The cops had got there, and I was like, give her something, Narcan. I didn't know why she wasn't waking up. I didn't know why. That's the first thing that came to my head was give her Narcan, give her something to wake her up. I just kept screaming, please wake her up, please wake her up. They told us it was too late. November 1st, 2023. That night, on Halloween night, Katie's best friend and her cousin go to the house, to my mom's house, and give her something, as we see in the cameras. And Kaylee goes back inside. 2 or 3 hours later, Katie's best friend messages her and tells her, "Hey, text me back. Are you okay? Is everything okay? You haven't messaged me back yet." And still to this day, we don't know. They told us the cause of death was heart failure. Katie didn't have heart problems. Katie wasn't suicidal. She had so much life to live, that baby girl. And all the notes in the journals that we found, she wasn't ready to. She wanted to do something with her life. But I like I say, I leave it in God's hand because God knows everything. And then we asked them for a second autopsy, which took 3.5 months to get back to us. And that was when they came back and told us that it was a heart condition. And they came back with a heart condition. I was like, we waited all this time, more time, second autopsy to hear the heart condition. Like, yeah, Kaylee had asthma, but she never, she would have, if you have a heart condition, I'm sure you have to go to a heart doctor. And Kaylee wasn't on medication for it. So it didn't sit with us. Still to this day, it doesn't. And we're never going to know what actually happened. We just have to let her rest.
As her initial autopsy would be ruled undetermined by the medical examiner's office, the family felt as though there was much more to the story. The family requested a second autopsy, with results linking her death to heart failure. Kaylee had no signs of heart failure. She was a healthy, young woman who played sports for most of her young life. As it was reported, Kaylee did in fact have friends who visited her that afternoon at the house. This is where her family thought it was possible that she may have been introduced to a dangerous substance. The family immediately came together, and the family had to make a tough decision on what the future was going to look like moving forward from the loss of Kaylee. It was actually in the middle of trying to get more information on Kaylee's death. Not even 6 months later, Kaitlin would meet a fate that not even we could begin to fathom. Listen to part 2 of Heavenly Sisters, Kaylee and Kaitlin Hernandez story next on YouTube and Spotify.